This Acura in-dealer training presentation is designed to help all service personnel become familiar with the unique systems and components found on the new Legend Coupe.
Getting ready to run this box over to the mechanic here later this morning, but I got a few things that will be going on the 86 Legend. That's a clutch master cylinder, the replacement antenna, valve cover gasket. That's an accessory belt. This one is a thermostat. I have hood struts, pedal pads, a tensioner, clutch slave cylinder, spark plug wires, and still a few things are on the way that have not yet arrived. So continuing to piece together the puzzle, as I said in a prior segment, this car came with virtually, well, exactly zero documentation from a maintenance perspective, other than a verbal communication from the selling dealer that he had rebuilt the alternator and changed the brakes. That was it. So we're starting from scratch with this one. So partial disassembly is underway. Look at the fluid in here, how bad it is. The color is like straight up rust. The engine bay, you can see the corrosion in some of these pieces of hardware. Just from living by the coast his entire life, the more he gets into it, the more we'll discover.
Gotta be a brand new beast.
Yeah. Very clean Legend Coupe in the parking lot. So I just checked out, this was the former location for the Valley's first Acura dealership in 1986. It was called Lloyd Wise, 2404 North Scottsdale Road. Today it is a Title Max, and I went and talked to the gal in there. Madison was her name. She was super nice. She was aware that it used to be a car dealership, but didn't know exactly what kind. So I thought it was kind of fitting that I introduce her to the story. And so there's the ad. There were a couple different listings. So this is the one that says Lloyd Wise Acura, the Valley's only Acura dealer. And so I don't know if this maybe used to be concrete around it or if it was landscaped this way back in the 80s, but you can see the architecture is very typical of what a dealer would look like. This right here would have been glass on either of these beveled edges, so that was added in or enclosed by the Title Max people when they took ownership of the property. And then this one right here would have also been glass all the way around. But interesting to see this property, you know, actually still in pretty good shape all these years later. Funniest part is here's Legends. So this facility over on this side would have been attached to or part of the main facility here. I don't know if the wall was here, but you can see how the architecture is the same. The roof line there matches the roof line here because that was all part of the Lloyd Wise dealership.
Yep, it'll go directly right into your account.
And there you have it. The first Acura dealership in Arizona dating back to 1986. And the building is still here. It is a junkyard day today. Gonna stop by and see what kind of stuff we can find. I know there is a G1 sedan here somewhere. It's been in the yard for 74 days, so it might be picked over. But right off the bat, I already found this 91 to 93 sedan G2, pretty complete still, cloth interior. Here's the car I was looking for, and I may be in luck. Let's see if the interior is similar to mine. I think this is the gray as opposed to the sand color that mine is, but still pretty complete car, and it was a manual. Wow. Good old Clifford. Man, I could have used some of this stuff before buying it on eBay. Like this center taillight panel is real nice. The chrome trim beneath here is in much better shape than the one I got. And the body here is pretty phenomenal. Even these little fender arch moldings here on mine are a little bit dinged up. Looks like this car's been in here for almost 3 months, but hasn't been really picked over. It kind of shows you how slow I think the G1 community is. If this was a really complete G2, it might be just bare bones by now. I learned this from Vice Grip Garage, but sometimes you can tell from whatever's in the trunk or the cabin compartment. Those will give you clues about what went wrong with the car and maybe why it was junked. So right off the bat on the front seat here, I see a thermostat and a radiator cap, which leads me to believe that this car potentially had overheating issues. And looks like the odometer, it's not super high. It's got 168 on it. And typical Arizona fashion, the dash is destroyed. We do have a registration card and some candy in there. Car came from Avondale, which is a Phoenix suburb. And some stickers here. Griffith Acura. We'll have to look into where that dealership originated. Part I was looking for, by the way, is this A-pillar trim from the inside of the windshield on the driver's side. This one's completely missing. It would have been the wrong color anyway, but might have been a good placeholder if nothing else. Ouch. RL got hit pretty hard on the driver side front. The 86 Legend project continues. I'm dropping off a few more things today at Hanman. This is the valve cover gasket. I have a V-belt, power steering belt, alternator belt, the water pump, which I got from Gates, distributor cap and rotor, which I found 2 versions of. Both of them show factory or manufacturer part numbers, but they have different looking boxes. So kind of the approach I'm taking with a lot of this stuff is I'll buy multiple of things and then we pick the best, because with aftermarket stuff, it's always a mystery. All right, here's the latest on the 86. So things are kind of torn up in here because we're doing all the gaskets for just time-based interval. I didn't notice a lot of leaks with the car, but because it's 37 years old and one of those kind of classic cases of, while we're in here, we might as well do such and such, you know, insert task here. But yeah, so here's the car as it sits today. It is December 11th. May not have much going on here until even toward the new year or beyond, which is fine. These guys can take their time with it and take a very detail-oriented approach, as I know that they do, and we'll bring back more updates in the future. Some acquisitions for the 86 today. I got a headlight assembly. I really only needed this piece here. There's a chunk missing on the one on the car right now, but whatever, I got the whole thing. And then the center taillight panel has a big crack on mine up here. Sorry for my messy garage on this side of the house, but I also have the rear bumper lip, which is a rare piece, as well as this under taillight panel that's in better shape than the one on the car. So slowly getting some pieces together. Had to share this little win with you guys. So huge thanks to my friend Shervin for sending me the eBay link to this actual 1987 expiration sticker. That is a real deal, never put on a plate sticker. That will be perfect for my period correct original plates, well, replica plates anyway, for the car. The only thing going to be missing now, so we're basically going to assume that this will be the plate that the car would have worn when it was purchased new in October of 1986, so it would have expired in 87. The last piece of the puzzle that I'm missing, and I can get a replica if I need to, is going to be the October sticker that goes here. So getting closer to that. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a quick tip on parts sourcing because I think this is a pretty cool find. I received these O-rings in the mail today, 2 of them. I bought an extra just in case, but this all started because I found out that the O-ring that I needed, 91352 SD4000, is discontinued. So I started doing some research on the internet about where can I find another O-ring with an 8.8 by 1.9 with the same dimensions listed here. So I looked around. Come to find out, there is a Honda part 91302 GE00000 with the same exact dimensions. So look at the parts diagram, it's number 33 here, little teeny O-ring. Look at the parts diagram on this one. It's a teeny little thing right there, number 41. And I'm almost certain that this thing is gonna work. And it's a good thing I didn't give up after just searching for that initial part number, because you'll see this happens quite a bit. In fact, and I even have duplicate parts coming because I found some from overseas, but you kind of have to be innovative and look outside the box. Got the 86 back from a lot of maintenance. I'm gonna walk you through the entire list of what was done when I get back to the house, but for right now I'm enjoying my first real highway drive with this thing. Obviously it looks like I'm redlining it, but I'm not. I'm in 5th gear and doing only 60, so still that issue with the tach to resolve, but that's not really on the forefront of my mind at this point. There are plenty of other things to worry about on this car. First and foremost, I'm not going to go any faster than this because the tires are extremely old and dry rotted, so I will be getting those taken care of here as the next order of business. And just like that, the 86 sedan is back at the house, but not for long because I'm headed over to get these tires changed out. I can't stand driving on these ancient Michelin Energy MXV4s any longer. They have date codes of the 37th week of 2008, and that is a recipe for disaster, especially here in the desert. So I did just get the car back from a long list of maintenance. I supplied the parts for the most part because some of them were tough to locate, including things that came from other countries entirely or for different cars. So anyway, here's the list that was kind of a breakout of what took place. The clutch slave cylinder was the main reason I had the car towed in there back on October 31st. It was a Halloween breakdown, which I'll never forget. The timing belt and water pump were changed, removed the aftermarket alarm wiring, antenna mast was changed. Just a bulb there, hood struts, the sunroof tracks were completely gobbed up. Let's see what else is on here. Spark plugs, valve cover gaskets, side cover gaskets, axles, clutch master, clutch slave, and AC. Everything works great. I was driving the car with the AC on just now, even in January, just to try it out, and it seems absolutely perfect. So this is probably amounting to what will become a first phase of mechanical work on this car. I got it with very little to no maintenance history, so really starting from scratch. Those were the big ticket items I wanted to make sure and address before anything else. But right now, I'm gonna drop it off to get the tires changed out, as well as some refinishing on these silver painted wheels. You can see they're in pretty decent shape, except for these inlets here. And these I've learned the hard way from prior cars are extremely difficult to clean, even with the assistance of a toothbrush and any other stuff you can find. So we'll get those cleaned up and we'll come back after that. Got the 86 back from Express, and these guys did an awesome job on this wheel refinish. Look how perfect, even all the pockets. The center caps were redone as well, of course, then installing those new hand-cooked tires. So this car is still a long ways from the end of the road in terms of restoration, but I'm super pleased with the work that was done here on those wheels. Awesome. That was the fun part. We're gonna see if this Top Hits of 1986 will play in my 86 Legend cassette tape deck.